Welcome to this panel at our Empowered Mom Summit. Today we're talking about moms and teens and creating entrepreneurial businesses with our teens and just how awesome and just fun that process can be. And so today we have special guests. I've been on at the summit for a little while now, so you guys know me, but I'm Carla Bradley. This is my daughter, Jenna Bradley. And then we have Lillian Brown and Jace Browne, and they recently started a business for Jace called Crazy Curls. It's a 3D printing business, and they have done amazing things in just a very short time, and they're just getting started, and it's been really fun as their friend to just watch this all unfold. But I have a feeling that this is just the beginning. But their creations, they actually brought a few, and I should probably have our bin of creations that they've let my kids have and play with. But they're really impressive. Like, the 3D printing that you guys do is just unbelievable and amazing. And it's just really cool. So tell us about that process of from idea to conception to just where we are today, creating this business. Like, how did this start, and how did you and your husband like support Jace in his dream to create this business?
And so it all started because we had a 3D printer at home, and Jace had a lot of fun creating things with his dad. And people really liked all these fun things that he printed. And they asked if he sold anything, and he said no. But then we were like, well, why not? Why wouldn't we sell something? And so Jace became interested in printing things. And I don't know, do you want to talk about it, Jace?
I don't really know what to add to that.
Did you come up with the designs on your own, or did people tell you what they wanted and you made it, or a little of both? How did you
A
think of it?
little of both. It depends. Like, all of our animals, those are just us. We made those the dragons. There's not really been a lot that like people have suggested, but there's been some, definitely.
So there's some of the animals and some of the designs that we buy from artists, and so we buy like a commercial license to be able to print those. There's some that we create because there's people that request, or there's just some ideas that Jace has and that we have together. Some ideas that I have, I always run by Jace because it's his business. It was his idea. He named the business. Everything about the business is all comes from him. And so everything goes through him to make sure that he approves the ideas.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. And it reminds me of kind of like, where do you find the designs that you do buy? Do you find them on Etsy? I know when I first started with Kaya and Cash, we actually had to buy a lot of the designs like off of Etsy, and then we would utilize those on the shirts because I wasn't as familiar until we started working with the Bradley bunch, who actually, Jenna's done a lot of our Canva designs on Canva. So can you tell us a little bit about where you do buy those designs and how you?
We buy our models from a lot of different just creators.
Okay.
And like we buy them from Patreon, I believe.
So we actually buy them from the creators themselves, which is great because then we get to support the artists themselves. They get all the credit. And we buy a commercial license from them. A lot of it, if it's our own design, my husband happens to be a computer programmer, and so he programs our own designs, which is great because if we have something in mind that we want to create, he makes that come to life. And then Jace just creates whatever it is, and then it comes out of the printer. It's kind of like magic.
That is really, really cool. And you're like the perfect family for that, with all of his training and background, and then your ideas, and you just kind of make it happen. And
it's kind of like this Christmas tree.
Yeah, and that's what I was just gonna say.
That's so cool.
Because they go with holidays, like whatever holiday is coming up, they can print things for that upcoming holiday. Right. And that's really cool. So that has your family's name on it.
Yeah, so I had a friend message me and she said, wouldn't it be cool if you like had a Christmas tree with everybody's name? And then Jared just put that Yeah. And he made a Christmas tree.
I love that so much. So
Isn't that
I don't know if in the summit, if this is going to be before or after we've built our Shopify store, but that would be such a cool custom order for somebody to
Yeah.
have for the holidays online.
And we
And
make a lot of those.
Where can they find you guys? Like if someone is at the summit and they're like, this is so cool and I want to support this preteens business, how do they find you right now?
So people have messaged us on Facebook and Instagram. They can email us.
What's your handle?
So Crazy Curls 3D, right? Instagram and Facebook.
We'll tag it in the summit
Yeah.
description too.
Yep. And so, yeah, they've messaged us. We ship. We work locally a lot, but we have shipped quite a bit. So yeah, we made a lot of those for the holidays.
Yeah, a lot of them.
yeah, that is so
A lot
cool.
of
And
weekends now, Jace spends doing like venues and things like during the holidays. Pretty much every weekend, you guys were somewhere, weren't you? Like you were at like a venue selling your 3D animals and all your things that you have like in person to people. And he has business cards and it's really
oh
cool.
yeah, it's so neat. So I wanted to ask you moms and Jenna and Jace, how do you balance the role of being a parent and a business partner? So where do you find that balance of, okay, you want to drive your child to make sure that like they're hitting their goals, but how do you balance that and make sure, because both of you two are actually straight A students, right? You guys both
Yeah.
are really so just high performing kids anyways. But how do you balance that?
And so we talked about this the other day too, but we always say that like, your academics comes first. And so if Jenna and I are talking about, her clothing line that we have on Kaya and Cash Boutique, or new clothing designs that we want to make together, or books we want to write together, or just other business ideas, of course, that's always after school. Like school is like their primary job. Do that first. And I'm with Jace too. Like this isn't a struggle in that area. So but yeah, school always would come first, and then we get to just brainstorm and think creatively about the fun business stuff. That's how we do it. Is that kind of how you?
Yeah, and and I do think there's always a point where it comes to it's a choice that you have to make. Jace, especially towards the holiday, he had events that he was invited to. There was one event, there was like a 2-day event, and I knew that there was going to be a lot of sales and his advertisement was going to be great for him. And we couldn't do that event because it was doing 2 school days, and I didn't want to do the event without him. And we had to say no to that event because school comes first and his extracurriculars come first, and him being a child comes first. And so there are times when you're going to have to say no to the business because being a child and being a teenager comes first.
Yeah, and like me specifically, I have a bunch of extracurriculars and just like clubs that I'm in, whether it's like chess club, Rubik's Cube, all those different things.
And I remember you saying that you were able to support one of your sports teams with your business. Like his business was a sponsor for one of the extracurricular teams that he was a part of. Isn't that neat?
That was the
That
first
is
big
so
thing that
cool.
he was able to accomplish. And I think, and you can speak to that, I think he was very proud of it.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Because soccer is a big passion of Jace, and he was able to sponsor his own soccer team. And so his soccer team had his business logo on their jerseys, and they were able to play all
Wow.
on jerseys.
How cool is that? So,
Isn't that
Jace,
really cool?
have you always wanted to be a business owner, or you kind of just fell into it?
I think I kind of just fell into it.
Yes.
Okay.
And do you and Lillian, I know that you work and your husband's a computer programmer, right? So
Right.
are either one of you entrepreneurs? Do you have that in your family, or it just kind of just fell into it and happened and you guys figured it out along the way?
So we've always had a family business on the side. Like we've
Okay.
always had our main jobs.
Right.
And then we've always had something on the side that's a family business that we do together with the boys. And this is what we are doing now. We have 2 older boys that are in college. And so this is what we're focusing on with Jace, and it's been great.
So as a family, then that was a decision to say, look, is it for the monetary income that you want them to start earning, like for college or certain goals? Or is it, this is a hobby, you might as well have one that you learn how to create a business, or a little bit of both, or what kind
I
of?
actually think it's both. Yeah, I think it's both. I think it's for us, it's usually a hobby that turns into a business. And then we are able to teach them the financial aspect of it, responsibility, and just business, just all kinds of skills with that business. And it's just great for everybody.
That really is. That's how we do it at our house too, is if you're going to have a hobby, you need to have one that fills your heart, you need to have one that helps your brain, and you need to have one that helps your money, because if you actually are constantly making something money, you're never going to work a day in your life, right? So being an entrepreneur is important. But I think that that's really interesting, and I love that. Jenna, you are absolutely incredibly talented, especially when it comes to, I mean, well, just about everything, but when it comes to like Canva designs,
Yeah.
and even now you're writing your own recipe book, you've written a daily devotional with your mom, you teach Bible study, and you've done like 3 clothing collections now, and a lot of the social media stuff for Kaya and Cash.
Yeah.
So what motivates you? Because
And
I
she
know
wrote a
you motivate
teen
me.
influencer book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think that school also helped me be able to pick up those skills, because I don't think that I would have learned how to use Canva without just having some background knowledge in general. But also, I really like design and I really like creating things. And it kind of all plays into like the books and the t-shirts and all of that. And so just kind of having, I don't know, and my mom too, she's really into design.
We have fun
Yeah.
together, kind of like
Yeah.
Lillian and Jace. Like it's just a really fun thing that you can talk about together and do together, and it's really rewarding. And, yeah.
I think that's awesome. So as moms, if you have any advice, like for moms kind of like me, right, with young kids,
Right.
how do you get started? How do you encourage your kid? How do you toe that line? What's your advice as a mom to help inspire your kid and keep that inspiration alive?
I would say my advice off the top of my head would be to, if your child's interested in something, run with it a little bit. I mean, you don't have to, you know, let it consume your whole life, but if they're interested in, design or, 3D printing or whatever it is, graphic design, or, I mean, whatever,
Yeah.
then maybe just take them like step for step. Say, do you want to, you know, sell these? Do you want to create a business? Would you like to do something more with this? And, if the child's up for it, then meet them step for step and see what happens.
I agree. I agree. And I think, in this situation, it happened so naturally for us. Jace took the initiative. He named his business after himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can't
Right.
find it.
But yeah, that was his idea. Crazy girls. And so I think it's something that we do together as a family. It's great family time. It inspires his creativity. It teaches him so many skills. And I think for me, the one thing I try to keep in mind always is that he is a child and he has his own interests. And I don't I don't try to impose my opinion on things. I try to just always respect, because it's so easy as a mom to just do things instead of teaching. And
Right.
sometimes you see things going a certain direction, and I have to just take a step back, especially if you're a little type A personality.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
just try to respect that things will take their natural course, and respect your child's the natural cycle of things.
I mean, for me, as like having a mom like this, I think that the biggest thing that she did to help me, and Jace can probably say this, is just being like supportive and looking more of it as a friend and not really like a supervisor, like more of coming at it like, okay, how can I help you? Not like, we're
Yeah.
not doing this, or this is how you're going to do it if you're going to.
Right.
I remember when Jenna came to me with, I've been an influencer now for several years, and she said, I think I want to do this too. And I thought of a million reasons why she shouldn't do this. Like, no,
Yeah.
because you get mean comments, or, just, I don't know. And, but then, she really wanted to do it, and she thought of it, as a fun, creative outlet. And it was kind of a business for her too. And she has gotten her page farther in, less than a year than I
Yeah.
did in over a year. So it's been rewarding to help her and watch that happen, and watch the creative side, of that. But I think, it's natural for moms to want to be kind of mama bears and think of all the reasons, like, not to put your child out there, whether it's a business or a, Instagram page or a book or anything, because there's always criticism, and you just want to protect them from everything. But you just have to tell them that these things could happen, and just kind of take it one step at a time, and even, set a boundary or a goal, and say, let's try this for, 6 months. If it's not fun, we don't have to continue this, or
Right.
you're not locked into anything forever.
Right. And I
Yeah.
agree with that. And I also think it's, you can't just kid yourself and think that this is all your child's project, because this is 100% your project too.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so that goes into my next question. How do you divide responsibilities at home, and how and help without kind of doing it all, or how do you divide that?
Right. I mean, I think it's, you have to be there to guide and divide responsibilities and be able to help. I mean, Jace just got an order for like 2,500 keychains from a company, and I can't expect my child to sit there, and go to bed late because he's working on this. I will absolutely be helping him, because this is a small family business, and he is an
Yeah.
11-year-old child. So I think it's understanding that this is something you are taking on too, not just your child, because this is a child.
You have to
Right.
drive them to the venues and
Correct.
things.
And
Yeah.
you teach by the example.
Right.
In this by dividing stuff, like you do a lot of like the social media.
Correct, because you're not allowed on social media.
Dad does a lot of like the custom orders and whatever.
Right.
And I do like the actual printing and making stuff.
So yeah, we all have strengths and we all have talents, and so we bank on that for the things that, that's how we divide things, is that we just focus on what we love doing and our strengths, and that's how we divide our responsibilities.
That's awesome.
And I
So
think it's
yeah.
healthy for kids to see that too, because, they see the whole family coming together to work on a common project or a common goal, and just how they, make that happen. I think that's really cool for kids to see that process.
And the dishes still need to get done, and dinner still needs to get done, and we all
Right.
pitch in.
Right.
Cool. Good
So
teamwork.
what does your daily like schedule to all of you? What does your daily schedule look like during school and like on weekends? Because I know, Jace, I know you do a lot of like trade shows and stuff. Jenna, I know you're posting daily. Like I know that you get like designs done after school. Like what does your daily kind of routine look like? So if another mom and teen want to do this, how do you do that while balancing extracurriculars and family obligations? You're still very family oriented. So how do you do that? And what does it look like?
So for us, we have like a family calendar, and so we always put extracurriculars first, like on that calendar. We respect that first.
Okay.
I have a very much like 9 to 5 job, and
Uh-huh.
so I have to be at that job physically. But
Yeah.
my husband works from home, and so he's the one that picks Jace up from school, whatever extracurriculars. If I can't be there, my husband's there, and so those are the things that come first. Jace has a booth at a local market, and so on the weekends, usually we give attention to that for a few hours. And then when we're home in the evenings, that's when we give attention to all the custom orders and all the orders that he gets.
Like usually after school, I have extracurriculars so like until 5, and then after that, get home, get business, eat.
And still have to be in bed by 9:30.
Okay, so you don't stay up later. It's bed. You go to bed. You make sure. That's great.
Yes.
That's so critically important.
During this Christmas break, we've been a little lenient, but the bedtime is still bedtime.
Yeah, not really. I mean,
Break all rules can go out the window.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
okay.
Yeah. Well, and then like I know we're about to set up their Shopify, and I think that will be helpful for them to put their inventory in that too, because if they're overwhelmed and get 20,000 keychain orders, then they can put their inventory low. But if they have the capacity to
Yeah.
take on more, I could see how having that option to say, or if you've pre-printed things, you could say, we have 1,000 of these available or whatever.
Right. If you see that you have a big order or a consistent order on certain products, like we decided to choose the top 5 products that you're going to be listing that people can buy. Right now, people can buy here that are
Yeah.
listed.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we have okay, because we have an inventory that's available at the booth that we have at all times. And so then there's things that we have on hand, and there's other things that we had, for example, to close custom orders during Christmas time because we were being inundated with them, because his business is getting more popular. And so it's
What a
only been since
great
summer.
It is
what a
so
great problem to have. What
Yes.
does your system look like now? And how can we help you automate it and make it a little bit easier? I know it's a different business frame, but we want to help you make sure that it gets easier so you can take on all of these extra orders from the Empowered Mom Summit.
So I think Shopify will help us a lot.
Yep.
Right now we have the booth at the market, and that helps us a lot because they have an app, and so we just go there, and we see when we see the inventory is running low, we just go over there and we restock.
No, not really. We haven't gotten inventory done yet on it.
Well, we have those things like when we sell, and we just
No, that's not correct.
anyway.
How did
Um,
you find that market? So if somebody, a mom and a child, or a dad and a child, have kind of like an idea or certain things that they want to sell at the market, did you just Google local farmers markets, or how did you get involved with that, and what was that process look like?
We just kind of like knew of the market. Then we asked,
Okay.
hey, how do we get
It's
a
a
booth?
neat like coffee shop slash
Right.
flea market, but it's kind of an upscale
Yeah.
flea market.
Uh-huh.
And everybody locally knows about it. And so that's how, I think that, they knew about it because it's like the market. Like you want to be there. We actually had a booth there for a short time, but if someone were looking, a lot of towns have these. It's like a coffee shop slash market, and they're so fun. Like
Right.
even I love going to.
Oh, and for those that don't know, you guys are in Flippin, Arkansas.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Okay.
think if you enjoy going to a place and it's a place you like walking around and going shopping, that's where I would want to be. And so that's why I was interested in being at that particular place. And for Jace, like I feel good about him going there and having his booth there. It's not a place that I feel like I don't want my child to go there. And so
Right.
it's a place that the environment is great. The other vendors are great. And so I feel pretty confident that his booth is doing pretty well there because it's just a good family environment. So it's, the selection process wasn't very hard.
Yeah. And I think the biggest takeaway for me, not being at that store, but that's relevant to me and my businesses as well, and just kind of in life, is you just ask questions. So you see something and you say, hey, I want to be a part of that. I think I could. And how do I do that? And you just ask, and you ask whomever's running the show. And typically, especially if you're working with your kid, they'll be very, nice to help you, I'm sure, or excited to help young kids kind of get in that entrepreneur spirit. So, Jenna, what does your daily schedule look like? Because you are more of a teen, you're balancing quite a bit. You have a large family as well. What does your daily schedule look like with like all of your businesses and your influencers and staying busy?
So I like on a normal school day, I help out quite a bit. Like I'll come downstairs and I'll make breakfast or whatever, and my mom's there too. And usually that's when I take like a picture of my outfit and post it to LTK or something like that. And my sister Eddie really likes doing LTK kind of stuff. So she kind of makes collages like that. And so that covers LTK. And then throughout my day, if something strikes me, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really cute, I want to share it. Then I'll share it to Instagram. And so that's pretty easy. My mom does more of a talking, like in the morning, she'll be like, hey, good morning. And I tried that for a while. I just figured, that wasn't really me. So I share more like clips and behind the scenes. And then
I don't post every single day, but I try to. And that might just be like a little reel that I had already pre-planned or
Just
just,
batch create.
Yeah, batch creating. And so it keeps my schedule pretty,
yeah.
Jenna and Jace's businesses are very different because
Yeah.
Jenna doesn't have like actual product that she has to like
Right.
sell at a
Yeah.
brick and mortar store or online. But her products are more digital or more, you know, they're out there. You do them once and then they're just out there forever kind of thing. And
Sorry,
so
guys.
it's a little
Hold
bit
on.
different.
I'm
Oh, you're
sorry.
fine. You're fine.
Sorry. Sorry.
And so Jenna's business is a little different because hers are more digital products and Jace's are more like physical products. But what Jenna has done is whenever she's busy with volleyball or if it's a busy time of year for school, she just like steps back and doesn't do as much during those times. And then other times when she has a lot of time, like right now on Christmas break, she'll batch create and create content for times when she is a little more busy. And as far as like her cookbook that she's working on right now,
I think
or
it's actually done. Like we need to
Yay.
get that out
exciting.
there.
And her and the devotionals we did, it wasn't like we had deadlines or we didn't have customers that were saying, where's my order? It was we could do this when we had time. And so that kind of took the pressure off of that part of it. But you know, on the flip side, if you have a business like that, you have to be pretty disciplined because it could easily just be something that's like, oh, it's, you know, I don't have a customer, so I'll just do it tomorrow. It's not that important. You have to just kind of be like self-motivated to be, you know, be disciplined to say, I'm going to do this every day, or I'm going to, if I have a break, I'm going to, you know,
Right.
to
So
create.
I
And Jenna does a lot with our Canva designs for our shirts
Yes.
and our collections. And she's about to start her own clothing line on Kaya and Cash Boutique, which is really exciting. And her clothing line will be different than the ones that are on there right now. She'll have a little bit of screen printing, but she has her own style and it's going to be really fun. And I'm excited to do that with her. We will have actual product at that point, but with Abundant Academy, it's really, or not Abundant Academy, Abundant Apparel. Abundant Apparel, it's really neat because she has the ability to have a storefront, have a clothing line, be creative, but not have the pressure of, you know, boxing everything up, taking it to the post office, mailing it, dealing with customer service, because Abundant Apparel takes care of that part of it, and that's really cool.
Yeah, so that's what we'll be doing with Jace and Lillian. We'll be taking you guys and starting your own Shopify store. So that way, when you have like your product, and I can even teach you a little bit about 3PLs, but it might be a little bit different with your product. We're going to be taking you through. So it automates quite a bit of it, which is exciting and helpful for moms and teens. But one thing that's really cool about Abundant Apparel, like we were talking about, and what I really love and what we wrote, Kaden and I wrote our book about on Teen Business Blueprint, because that's how Kaya and Cash actually first got started. Was I wanted to drop ship products and I wanted to find a way to do things that weren't too time intensive, but if you put it out there, it's an evergreen product, so it just keeps selling. So whether it be drop shipping, you know, your clothing designs and working with a certain supplier that can actually make to order your products, it makes it a little bit easier. Like we've designed clothing lines in about 24 hours because if you know the garment that you want to choose and you have the design, you upload it to the appropriate garment, and then you just order it and you wear it and you show it and you sell it, and it's more email marketing focused and influencer marketing focused, that kind of thing. So it's really cool seeing both sides of the business that you can have. And there's even, like you were talking about, book opportunities. There's all different kinds of ways that you can be in business with your teen. And I think the big takeaway is you can turn that into something really cool when it comes to bonding with you and your kids. And like you said, family bonding. And even on our abundant management video, Jace, that you did, you talked about how being an entrepreneur is so great and it's a great opportunity for family bonding. So I thought that was so true and so cool. And it's awesome seeing it live and in person. On that, I think before we wrap up, I'd love to get some advice from the teens on how to pursue your dreams and passions and how to have, a way to make what you're doing in your hobby even more meaningful and a way to inspire your teens and your peers. Do you know other like you guys are some of the only teen entrepreneurs that I know. So I'm sure that plenty of people want to hear from you.
For me,
Yeah.
I feel like being open and being like, okay, I don't really care about what this person's gonna think about me. Like, just be open and just don't be afraid of judgment. Like, I think
Yeah.
I wasn't going to start my business because of like what other people would think about me, but honestly, they think it's so cool. I haven't had
is.
one person say, "Oh, this is not cool. This is not whatever trendy or whatever you want to be." Like, just be open to.
They call that imposter syndrome, right? To talk
Yes.
yourself out of it, saying that, oh, I'm not good enough or my idea is not good enough, but you can't let that stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just have to be like really driven towards it, and you have to like the thing that you're doing and what you're working towards. And
If you have an idea, don't be like afraid to just get it out there.
Yeah, I love that. Since you had your idea, Jace, and it really turned into a physical, tangible, really cool product, can you show us some of them? You have a couple of your designs with you, right?
You have
In
your
addition to the
bestseller.
sign, you have the
Not seen
bestseller.
this one ever before, and I'm
Amazing.
excited.
Holy cow! How long does that take?
Brandon,
This is a jumbo dragon.
it's
Is that like it's like 2
it
feet?
moves.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Look how
Wow.
long this is.
Yeah.
That is so
That's
cool.
wild. And it's got like iridescent like colors
And
on
it's
it.
really high quality. Like, it's not great. I feel like if you gave it to the Bradley kids, I would love it.
We ship this all the time, and it makes it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I actually had videos of like kids that we shipped this to that like unwrapped their gifts on Christmas, and the parents sent it to me. It was really sweet.
That
So
is cool.
I know he made it there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's so neat.
That is
How long does that take
totally
you to
impressive.
print that?
what was that?
How long did this print take to print?
I believe that took like a day to print.
Wow.
I do think this, the jumbo dragon's about 24 hours.
Yeah.
I think it's like 22 and a half.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the video that we're going to be doing with Jace and Lillian where they show their printing process, because I'm like, I've never really seen a 3D printer in action, but I'm like picturing this dragon like being born out of a printer. It's really crazy.
And that's a lot of what this business is great for Jace, because he has these ideas and it's a great thing. But once he puts something to print, he can do something else for many hours. He still has to monitor, make sure nothing's going wrong, because there's plenty of failures. But this goes on for 24 hours until that printer is busy for them.
And like with the printers we have, the monitoring process is really like it's really organized.
Right. There's cameras.
Just like the apps we have and the driving stuff. Yeah.
That is so cool. And we kind of touched on this too, but I'm thinking of just ways to give back. Like when you have a tangible product, like what Jace has, and we've done this with Jenna's designs as well, but when there's an opportunity for a fundraiser or a raffle or something like that, when you have a tangible product, or even if you don't, just any product, you can use that to raise money for something that's important to your community. And that's another way for kids to learn that. And that's something that you can't teach other than doing. And I think that's really cool.
For us, we did that with with some of our medallions, Bobcat medallions for the for the Bobcat Booster Club.
That's so cool.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, do we have anything else before we wrap up?
No, I just think that it's absolutely incredible. You guys are definitely an inspiration, and I think that it's so neat, and I'm so proud of you. And thank you so much for being with us. And I look forward to showing everybody your products. Everybody make sure that you go and check out Jenna's storefront on Kaya and Cash and Abundant Apparel and all of their books.
Jenna Bean Adventures.
Jenna Bean Adventures. And then
Yep.
make sure you check out Crazy Curls 3D, Crazy Curls, right? Crazy Curls 3D.
Crazy Curls 3D.
Crazy Curls 3D, and you can buy their products here. And we will be taking you through Shopify and showing you how to do that process as well. And we can't wait to share that with you. And then, you know, we wrote books about it. So you can check out the
Yes.
Mom Business Blueprint and the Teen Business Blueprint on how to be in business with your kids. And these moms and teens will be available to chat with you in your breakout session. So keep your questions close, and we look forward to talking with you guys.
Yep, absolutely. Bye.
Bye.